But it just seems to me, in thinking about all the people who have come here so far, this is really sort of a spiritual moment, a transcendental moment. That we would come here to honor a guy who meant so much to us. And I think about the people who are here physically, but also the people who are here spiritually. Bill Hildenhoff, Nick Adamo, Kingman Bruce, Ted Blair, Buddy Amano, Bill Narduzzi, people that made this place special. And CARMEN COZZA could bring us all together. We should stay together.
I really feel that you really do epitomize the champion that all of us want to be, that we strive to be. And as mentioned here, we're not always winners, we sometimes lose. The stresses and really the challenge of athletics is what you do when you do fail, because certainly all of us have lost in whatever competition you've had. And I think the presence tonight, so many people in this room, not for Yale football, and really not just for Yale University, but for you, I think, is testimony that your presence through generations of football players and participants who have had the pleasure of watching your teams play is truly the testimony of why we are here tonight.
I learned a very important lesson, a lesson that went on to have a very big impact on me. And that was, I didn't need to learn that much about intensity or playing football, and certainly not that much about X's and O's, because I played mainly on instinct and intensity. But I remember during that game, which we lost, we were being badly beaten by Harvard's offense. And at the end of the game, I was standing near Carm, and the tailback from Harvard's team gave Carm this gesture with his middle finger. And I remember at that time, I was about to step on the field and go after this tailback. And Carm turned and gave me that look. And at that point, all of a sudden, I realized that here was somebody who it was less important whether or not you won that game, and more important that he was able to take someone, make sure that they stayed on track in their life and supported that person. And all of a sudden, seeing on a football field where everything is intensity, everything is winning, someone who had the ability to step back and take a broader view of life. And at Yale, that happened to me academically, but when I look at that, that is something which goes way beyond football. And I remember thinking about that afterwards, and then spending a year with that picture in my mind, very, very intensively working out, brutalizing myself so that I could prepare myself for the Harvard game next year, which was up in Cambridge. And I remember stepping out on that field, being totally prepared and being driven by that. In the third play in the game, I met that tailback in the backfield. It's about 3 yards deep, and he collapsed onto the ground. And I remember standing up, and I looked down, and I saw that hand. And my first inclination was to step on it. And I thought back, and what happened is I actually reached down and helped him up off the ground. Of course, I told him what he could do with that finger going forward. And we went on, and we Harvard that day, I think maybe, Joel admit, could have played us forever, and they wouldn't have scored a point. They had minus 11 yards offense in the game, and we had played very, very intensely. But when I look back, I say to myself, for someone to both be a coach with that kind of a winning tradition behind him, that kind of intensity, because as mellow as anybody can say Carm is, there is a real intensity, there is a real desire to win, to still have the ability to step back, and with literally a generation of people, which he has spent, not like a professor, 1 or 2 classes a day, couple days a week, but each day, day in and day out, to spend hours intensively with people brought in from around the country. And I'll say back when I came in, they were people who, to a certain degree, came from lower middle class backgrounds, the kids with a chip on their shoulder, who wanted to go out and wanted to play football and wanted to be part of that tradition. And Carm was somebody who, when I look back, it was a blessing for this university to have had somebody like that to come in, to not only be a winner on the football field, but to be someone who could share that broader vision of life.
I've started my own family recently. I have 2 young boys. My wife Barbara's in the audience tonight. My mom making another sacrifices at home babysitting the 2 monsters in the hotel room as they destroy it. Coach, I can't wait to the day that I can tell them about you. Times that we had, the wins and the losses. I've been asked many times the unique experience I had. I was in an automobile accident my senior season. It was pretty severe, but at least my legs weren't hurt. And I've been asked time and time again, how could you get out of the hospital bed that Saturday morning and come out and play? You made that easy, Coach. I do it again.
But Carm, it's been a great run. And I go back to the time he tried to recruit my son. Carm was always very diplomatic. He said, Joe, I'll tell you what I'll do. I will send Karen up to Harvard. She will help you win every game but one in the Ivy League. And if you send Joe down to Harvard, down to Yale, and we recruited him heavily, he said, if you send him down to Yale, I'll make sure that he wins every Ivy game. You want him to be successful, don't you? After that, I got the impression that Carm wanted to get me fired. When you get involved in coaching, you can do one of 3 things. You can use people, you can abuse them, you can serve them. I can't think of anyone that has served people better than CARMEN COZZA. Better than anybody. I am proud to be his friend, and I have been proud to compete against him. We've had some great games, but we always walked off the field as friends. You have to rise above whatever happens to you. He never boasted when he won. He's never bitter when he lost. Never changed. That's CARMEN COZZA.
I've also talked to people very close to Coach, and I'm told that he spends hours out mowing his lawn. I asked his wife, well, you must have a really big yard. And she said, no, it's only about 1.5 acres. 1.5 acres of grass, 2 acres total. I said, so what takes him so long? She says, well, he doesn't really ever get through mowing the lawn without a piece falling off of his tractor. So he usually has to stop and fix it before he's done. So I'm picturing Coach out there with duct tape taping together this tractor, and I guess it's about 20 years old. Every piece has been replaced, maybe even more. So we had all this in mind. We were wondering what we could do to help Coach with some of his off-the-field exploits after he retires. And if you'll come over here, we came up with an idea.
that I introduce to you, then, now, and always, our coach, CARMEN COZZA.
Thank you very much.
Tonight's very special to me and my family. I will remember this all my life. More importantly, I'll remember all of you all my life. I want to be your friend the rest of your life. I want you to know that if there's anything I can do to help you, I sure will. And that includes all my coaches, not only the present ones, but those that coached with me for the 32 years I've been here. Yale gave me a chance as a young coach. I had never been east of Pittsburgh. I told the news media when I announced my retirement that I haven't had Labor Day off in 52 years. I wrote when I'm doing Labor Day, I'll probably go down and watch practice. Or maybe use my tractor. I just want to thank all of you for coming. It's been a long night. It's been a very enjoyable night for me. It's one I will never forget the rest of my life. All of you in this room have touched my life. I thank you for that. And those that can't be with us tonight, that play here at Yale, have touched my life. And I'm indebted to all of you. And I wish you all Godspeed and a safe return home. Thank you.
So Carm, on behalf of all of us here tonight, and tens of thousands of other appreciative members of the Yale family, I want to start my toast, and this is a two-part thing, by wishing you, Jean, your daughters, your sons-in-law, and your grandchildren all the best in terms of good health and happiness. And now I would like to ask everyone in the room to please stand, glass in hand, and join me in saying on the count of 3 the following. We're going to say to Carm, thank you, thank you, thank you. 1, 2, 3. To Carm, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you very much, Coach. It was a true pleasure, and I hope that we can have the same sort of impact on young men that you've definitely had on us.
Thank you for creating the tradition and giving us the opportunity. I'm sure it'll be a legacy that'll be carried on by whoever replaces you, but they'll never fill your shoes.